All right. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this first round college football playoff news conference with Oklahoma head coach Brent Venables. This session will be limited to approximately 20 minutes. Please make sure you are muted unless asking a question. If you would like to ask a question, please use the raise hand feature and we'll try to get to you. I'm going to let Coach Venables start with an opening comment. Coach?
Good afternoon. I'm really excited to get on here with y'all. Obviously, we've really proud of our football team and our staff. You've got a fantastic body of work, put in a lot of time and effort, sacrifice and energy to get to this moment. And really excited for it. We talked to the team after the announcement was made. This is an opportunity for us to kind of start completely over and have a season of its own in the playoffs. And like it's been all year, the margin for error is incredibly small. Every play and every part of the game, every part of your football team has great magnitude and impact. And so, between last week and the next 2 weeks, we're going to work incredibly hard to improve in all the areas that we need to improve and just continue to develop our team. Got a great blend of both youth and veterans. Got a few guys that banged up that'll benefit from postseason time off to get healthy. And but just incredibly excited to be able to have a game here in Norman for our fans. Just fantastic all year long. First playoff game at home history. So just be a part with our players. Really, like I said, very, very proud of all of their hard work. I know for some people, debate's been there. Maybe we don't, belong in the playoffs, but we're here. A lot of teams are hoping they got matched up with Oklahoma potentially in the playoffs, and we got our focus and our energy, our detail is to be able to play for a championship. And no matter how crazy that might seem to everybody else, our team believes that we have everything we need, to be able to do so. So it's going to be incredibly challenging, but something that, we're looking forward to.
Okay, thank you, Coach. We'll go to questions. Let's start with Colton Sully of the Oklahoman.
Hey, Brent, sort of a two-part question here. First, wanted to ask, what are the challenges that come with preparing for a team for the second time in a season? And then secondly, what will it mean for this program to host a playoff game in Norman?
Yeah, the challenges of playing somebody you didn't play was getting to know who they are and really don't have a great idea how you match up in certain areas. This is one that there's familiarity with both teams. Third time that we're playing in, just a little over a year. And obviously we have tendencies, they have tendencies, they have certain matchups they like, we have certain matchups that we like. But at the end of the day, you can throw that all out. It's time to, start completely over. And, all that matters, good or bad, from the past, all that matters is what you do, here and moving forward.
Let's go to Mason Young, Tulsa World.
Hey, Brent, you've had three key guys, R. Mason, Gentry, and Jake Michaela that have obviously been dealing with some stuff over the last month or so. Are you fairly confident that those guys will be back and ready to go for the playoff game?
Yeah, don't know about two of those three. Gentry had shoulder surgery, so he'll be out, and we'll see on the other guys.
Gotcha. What would it mean for you guys as a team to get players like R. Mason and Jake back for this game?
They're two good players. They're starters, excellent players. Jake touches the ball every snap, so that there's a lot of impact and influence and the things that that guy does. And R. Mason's one of the more explosive defensive players in the country. So If they can play, they can play. If they can't, they can't. That's football. It's late in the year. They got guys that are down. That's just part of the game.
Got it. Thanks, Brent.
George Doya, Sooner Scoop.
Yeah, Brent. I think Colton asked this a second ago, but what do you expect the atmosphere to be like in Norman? I know you've been a part of some awesome ones. How special is it to get to play this game at home in front of this crowd?
Yeah, no, it means a lot. It's been a big advantage for us all year. I'm sure it will be again. Just as far as it'll be an electric environment, one where the going to show up, with great passion and energy, and make it difficult for the opponent to, communicate all those types of things, the advantages that you get. But our fan base is incredibly hungry. They've been waiting for this moment for a long time. So, that opportunity is sitting right in front of us. It's going to be exciting.
Parker Thune, are you insider?
Yeah, Coach, in the past, you've described yourself as a football junkie. You've said when you're not coaching ball, you love getting the chance to watch ball. So just curious, having played some of the teams in this field and no doubt having gotten the chance to watch others, do you have any overall thoughts on just the depth and I guess the evenness that this field presents amongst
Tremendous parity. A lot of great players, coaches, and teams. Everybody that's in here is deserving in their own way to be here. And certainly there's several teams that you could argue, that were left out that could be here as well. But, I love, as I've said before, I love the game of football. I love the stories from year to year that are told with the individual teams, both from the players and the coaches alike. And again, this championship weekend was a lot of fun to watch. And give you, the fight and the struggle that it takes to get, to this position. It just really puts it in a great perspective for you, and thankfulness to be in the position that our team, has worked for.
John Hoover, Sooners on SI.
Yeah. Hey, Brent, congratulations, man.
Thank you.
I wanted to explore playing Alabama again, that angle a little bit more. When I look at conference championship games, for instance, in your history, in your coaching career, you guys, I should say, Brent Venables' defenses are 5-0 when you guys rematch with a team you've played earlier in the season. Is that coincidence, or is there some secret sauce to what you do, scouting wise and over scouting, and don't over scout yourself too much and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have guessed that's what the record is. I really haven't kept track myself. I think it's more coincidence than not. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. If you're playing a team for the second time you're playing, they're in the championship, you're both worthy to be there. For whatever reason, we've been on the right side of it. And again, this is, Alabama, the quality of their roster, the quality of their staff. I think, you look at that program, 3 national championships in just the last several years, all the history and tradition. I don't know what that stat was, but maybe they had won, 10, SEC championships the last X number of times they've been in the SEC championship game. So we're going to get their best shot. That's what we were expecting. And it's a team that, again, they look back at our game and, I know that they feel strongly that had they taken care of the ball, they would have won the game. Who knows, where that would have landed. Are there areas that we need to play better from when we played them last time? Absolutely. But at the same time, our guys, went on the road and did the unthinkable by playing complementary football, being physical, getting the ball back, playing outstanding the special teams, and then, offensively playing complementary football, the things that you need to do, taking care of the ball, all the things that have helped us get to this point, the basics of football 101, being physical, taking care of the ball, creating your plays when they're there. That's what wins for you. And that's what'll win again, in the opening round of the playoffs.
Is there anything in particular that you try to avoid when it comes to overthinking something?
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
they know we're
honestly,
going to do this, and we know that they know, that
yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah, this is a game of execution. This is a game of physicality. You know, they're going to know your DNA, and it still comes down to executing either side of the ball. And so let's get better at what we do. I think was a message, to our guys is, improving, and that's a real thing. You do that through intentionality, through a lot of self-analysis and evaluation. I think that's incredibly important that you have honest, even through victory, you have honest conversations with each other. And sometimes, everybody wants to celebrate, and I got to walk in the room and then be real and honest with people. Okay, hey, we won the game, but okay, and hey, fantastic, you did this well, you did this well, they did this well. That's why we won the game. But these are the things that that allow this game to stay close and in question until the end. So those are where's that balance at? So that it doesn't fall on deaf ears, and then you put together a plan as a staff that helps your players get a little bit, just again, incrementally a little bit better in all these different spots. And you can't get better at everything, this late in the season, but you can get everybody, every player, every coach, every unit, every scheme can be a little bit better if you're looking for it. And that's going to be, was last week and moving into this week be our focus.
Appreciate your time, Brent.
You bet.
Let's go to Josh McDaniel, OU Daily.
Brent, you guys obviously got the job done last time out against Alabama, but Tybe Simpson still had a great game. And so I'm wondering, how are you going to potentially change the defensive game plan a bit to contain him better?
Well, I would, I'd take a win and he can have a great game again. I'll take that formula right there. If that's, I'll be honest. I think to your point, he can have a great game and we can still win. And those were your words, not mine. But I will focus on us, Josh. Just what do we got to do to play better in the areas? Where did we, fall short? Let's coach better, play better, all of those things. And that's what it is. And whatever happened last time doesn't have to have anything to do with this time. Again, all that matters is what we do, when we play here in Norman, a week from Friday night.
Let's go to Chris Vanini at The Athletic.
Yeah, Brent, you said in your opening statement there that maybe some people thought you guys shouldn't have been in, or they were looking to match up with Oklahoma. Do you feel like you guys have a chip on your shoulder right now?
Well, every game we've played all year is the biggest game in my career, and surely we can't beat the next team. And so, yeah, it's been there, and it's been there all year. I'm not throwing it back at anybody, but that is been the narrative, and hadn't been a lot of people that believe that we were able to do what we've done, and whether that's justifiable or not, who knows? It doesn't really matter. And again, the same thing. We'll go into this, with very slim odds, whatever that means. And we're just thankful to have the opportunity that's sitting in front of us. I know our guys are looking forward to the challenge. Again, going against one of the best teams in college football in the history of the game, and again, two iconic programs matching up here in Norman, Oklahoma. What a treat that's going to be for all people that love Sooner Nation, Alabama, and just love, college football, overall. But at the same time, not a lot of people think that, will last very long in the playoffs. And I think is that fair to say that that's been the chatter, that we don't have a good enough overall team to be able to make much noise? That's a question. I'm asking a question.
No,
No what?
that's not fair.
I'm not asking about fairness. I'm just saying what the narrative has been. So, that
has been the narrative.
So that's how our guys are, looking at it, from that challenge, standpoint. but we don't need any extra incentive and motivation to play. I'll be honest. It's the freaking playoffs. You got a chance to compete for a national championship if you're able to, find a way to win, one, week at a time. And so that's where our focus is.
James Hale, OKC Sports Radio.
Brent, you mentioned that you've had a week to start preparations, not necessarily for Alabama, but you've had a chance to work with your younger players and you've had a chance to self-scout and things. What did you think of your younger talent that you had a chance to work out with? With the transfer portal coming up, you're hoping you can retain most of those guys. And, as you get ready to jump into preparations this week, what kind of start did you get into last week?
Yeah, so you hit it. And several of the guys that practice even a little bit more last week are young guys that have a contributing role already on this year's team. They just need more work. They can't get enough work. Every rep they take is a rep that you can't replicate for them, and they learn from it, all of it. But it was an opportunity for us to get some good fundamental work for the entire team. A lot of individual and still stay in shape, do some tempo type running, and then it will work on things that caused us problems from a body of work. We watched begrudgingly the explosive plays, the negative plays that people had against us all season long, put them in a cut up, and kind of that was our film study last week, in all three phases. What are the, things that we need to work on? Where have we not executed well, or bad schemes against us that people have really exploited us? What are the things that keep showing up one week to the next? And because that's what's going to, show up, in the playoffs. So really focused on, the scheme and the fundamentals within those schemes to help, get just a little bit better, create again self-awareness. Sometimes, you can, through success, you can just kind of be intoxicated, and don't see, having the right type of lens to look at yourself, with the right type of humility because of the success. So, our job is to celebrate the success and then find ways to get better. And so that's what we did when we did some team stuff. Just a little bit of teamwork each of the days that we worked out. It was working on, the bad stuff, that we put on tape. And then our young guys did all the good on good stuff, Skelly and a little bit of teamwork, while the older guys came over and kind of helped them and coached them up. So it was great.
Hey, Brent, congrats and thanks very much.
Thank you. Yep, you bet. Appreciate it.
Okay, let's go to Dalton Davis, OU Nightly.
Yeah, Brent, congrats on getting here. This is one of the biggest stages in college football, and you've been talking a lot about execution. So how will you guys focus on execution rather than the magnitude of the moment? And how do you prepare some of those younger players for the speed of the playoff environment?
Yeah, man, what a great question. I'm thankful just for the magnitude of this season. And again, the magnitude of, as I said earlier, every game has this, enormous magnitude. And I think whether that's Michigan or it's the SEC, when we started with Auburn, certainly playing in the Cotton Bowl, you go to that game, it's a one-score game, into the fourth quarter. And, you learn, you hate bringing up those, the failures up, but man, you learn a lot through, the magnitude of the different moments within those games. And there's been some tremendous moments that have had, enormous magnitude all year long. And you want to emphasize and affirm, the moments where you handled it the right way. And you also want to recognize when we were maybe on the wrong end of it and we were still able to overcome it, to justify and just validate that you don't have to play perfect to win. And but you have to respond. And then, the magnitude of the pressure of the moment, which again, if going on the road in front of over 215,000 people. And, those are big moments with tremendous magnitude, with great challenges, or again, several of the other games from the year. And that's what the SEC, can do for you from a preparation standpoint, yeah, it's a big moment and all that, but we've had all these, the biggest moment of the year moments all season long. So I do think that this is a team that has been challenged. It's a team that has been through the fire, and it's a team that is battle tested in lots of moments of magnitude. We needed a big stop. We needed turnover. We needed to flip the field. We needed a big return. We need to make the play. We need to have firm protection, and you can go on and on and on. And so I'm proud of the team, how it's developed, its identity, the belief and the confidence that this team has, the rhythm that this team has, the connection that this team has by going it through together, and we've never once all year has this team become divided in any way. And even though maybe even on the outside, external factors have tried to maybe divide it, maybe dinner table conversations have tried to divide it, but this is a team that is determined to be together and stay connected and have each other's back and putting it on the line every single week. And that's been the funnest part for myself and our staff, is to watch that organically happen. So the magnitude of the moment, man, it's like, okay, you've had all these amazing moments all year. Well, the next moment is sitting right in front of us. It's the playoff. That's the someday that we talked about. It's the someday that we talked about 5 weeks ago. It was like a 2% chance that we could go 4-0. There's no way we'd be in this position if we had gone 3-1. So this is a moment that our guys fought for, competed for, and it's a moment that they expected. And so now let's walk in it. Let's be who we are, nothing more, nothing less. And, that's what I would tell them. Let's go dominate this moment. And so you dominate it through your preparation, through your detail, continue to be who we've been all year. And then, again, let's play our best 4 quarters of football, the next time that we get together. That's the vision.
Thank you, Brent.
You bet.
Shannon Carlson, the Oklahoman.
Hey, Brent, sort of piggybacking on that, you guys, after you lost to Ole Miss, you didn't know obviously how the whole playoff scenario would play out, but the thought was you guys had to basically win out and to be in those almost must-win games for the last month. Now you're in a true must-win. It's win or you're done. I'm wondering how you feel like that month, the last month of the regular season, has impacted the mentality and the abilities of this team. And then if I know, obviously before the playoff expanded, it felt like must win a lot more. You needed to, go undefeated or maybe lose one game if you had a chance to get in the playoffs. So maybe times that you were with a team, I don't know, obviously that 2000 OU team, needing to win games. Have there been teams in your past that you felt like have done that, and maybe how has that impacted them once they got into postseason situations?
Yeah, I think every championship team I've been a part of have had their backs at different times, some more, some less, their backs against the wall where it wasn't looking good and you had to figure it out and find a way. And those are the special traits and the intrinsic values that those teams have, the belief system, the preparation, the battle tested, and the calluses that you acquire along the way. Every single one of them have their own testimony. You talked about the 2000 team and, going into, that national championship game, the biggest underdog in college football national championship history. And with, again, a team that had, the roster and the Heisman Trophy winner and all those things. And again, we had a team with a bunch of misfits that believed it was going to be good enough and that had the ability to punch back and, lay it on the line till the end. And, but that's a team, again, had amazing synergy and chemistry, and they refused to get distracted. And as the year went on, that's a team that was challenged in lots of different ways. So I think those are, this year's team, that team, those teams that have these special qualities and being challenged along in the season. That's what makes the team and that journey and the testimony of the team. And so I do again, and it wasn't just, the last month. It's certainly a tremendous, again, magnitude and must win. I think that started with Michigan. And so our team has taking on that personality of back against the wall and, a deck that maybe be stacked against us. And, not a lot of, people, believed early. And again, that's our fuel and our energy and our excitement comes from a passion and love to play and compete, and appreciation for the opportunity that we have. And again, just what this team, what they've gone through together collectively, the body of work, all of those things, and certainly the challenges of the season have gotten us to this point. So a team that's, again, excited, team that is has never lost a respect for winning and what it takes, our processes, our intensity, our passion, our physicality, our love and respect and trust, for one another. All of those things are things that, winning requires. And our guys have really embraced that throughout the course of the season.
Thanks.
You bet.
Last question, Willie Gillespie, OU Daily.
Hey, Brent, congratulations.
Thank you.
Just wanted to ask about the offense. Against LSU, the offense really struggled, but you'll end up having about 3 weeks between the LSU game and the playoff game here in Norman. How valuable is that time to work with Arbuckle and John to improve offensively?
Yeah, I mean, again, we had several parts of the game that were actually really, really good, and then some other parts where we missed opportunity, and the other team is really good, and then some others. Again, you get a batted ball, goes for a turnover, and so you're looking at all the ways that you can to get better. And again, I look at. I think what's appropriate is you compare it to other, quality teams and what were they able to do from again, because I guess everybody is on the statistical things instead of whether or not we, won the game or not. So when you go back and look at all the statistical measures, how did, other teams do against, the same team? What did they do? People that, maybe have, on paper, more explosive, better operating offenses. So great self analysis and evaluation, inside out, and ways that we can, get guys open and create leverage in the run and the pass game and manipulate people. That's part of, offense, defense, and special teams. That's a game of football. And, how we can get better in all those areas, as well as make the plays, that are there, and not. So there's some ways you don't want to make it more than it needs to be. But again, those are, you can't just keep missing. I equate it on defense. If you have a good pressure dialed up and you got an overload blitz based on the protection you knew they were going to give you, and you got one extra guy, and then he gets back there and he's ready to sack the quarterback, and then he feints and just falls to the ground and doesn't make the play, the sack. The quarterback is able to break free and, throws an 80-yard touchdown. Man, you don't have those opportunities. They're just not endless, game in and game out. When you miss your opportunities, it bleeds over into every other part of your team, and it makes it winning a little bit more difficult. So there's a blend of all of that. That's a long-winded, explanation, but I think it's all appropriate, and I think the right lens is appropriate. And sometimes we look at it and through our lens and what we didn't do. And it's easy to go to an ultra positive place. It's easy to go to an ultra negative place. And I think finding the landing ground that's closer to reality is important. And, we have high expectations and standards, and you'd love to, get back into maybe the rhythm that we had earlier in the year, offensively and things of that nature too, so I think it's all fair.
Thanks, Brent.
Yep.
All right. Thank you, Coach. That's
all right.
All the time today.
You got it.
Thanks, everyone, for participating. I'll be in touch with information on our next meet availability soon. Thank you.
Thank you.